My name is Kate Ducak. I'm the Culture Change Project Officer with the RIA. And, bringing everybody here today in person, and for those of you who are out there online, it's a really great thing. We wanted to, hear and share what's been going on in Schlegel villages, in other long-term care homes. Because as we heard from you guys, over the years, and especially in January, we had that online survey that we sent out to all Ontario long-term care homes. We thought we would hear back from maybe 200, maybe 300 people would be a large number. We heard back from nearly 770 people who were telling us what they think about culture change, what types of things that they wanted to learn about, other things that they wanted to share with people. So that was really the basis for why we wanted to bring everybody together here today. And of course, you've met Mary Lou here and there over the last 8 hours, 9 hours, however long it's been.
Thank you, everybody, for actually joining us on a journey together, I guess, today, as we discover, talk about culture change today and tomorrow. Kate and I are hoping that this will be a repeat event in the future. We were curious to see what the turnout would be, and it was overwhelming. We sold out very fast and had to open up online streaming, which is a new experience for us today too. And thank you for those who are putting up with the online streaming today and joining us. I took some notes down today as all the presentations were happening, just to sort of recap and sort of to remind you of what journey we've gone through today. So we had Josie, Christy, Susan, and Hillary this morning. And I just love some of their quotations that they left us with. Find your BHAG is what Christy told us. And they also remind us too that we can create our future. We are visionaries. You are here because you are visionaries. And so that's a huge responsibility that we are all taking on today as we leave tonight and as we leave tomorrow. What I also walked away is residents are the experts in their lived experience, and Susan actually told us that. And I think that's so important, and we should never lose sight of that. Jennifer Hartwick came in and she talked about a relational model of teamwork, and again started to really open up the doors about how important it is to be a team in this. You can't do it solo. We have to do it together if we're going to, I was talking with Dee earlier and I was saying, we've got to turn the Titanic around and definitely not sink it. It's going to take us some time, but I think everybody here today is showing a commitment to what that new future may look like. Heather Keller came in and talked to us about dining and the mealtime experience and how so important that is to residents and families and how much work that is for everybody else in the long-term care home. But that we really need to create meal times that feel like home is what she told us over and over again. And that we get so caught up in just maybe what are pieces of it, and that we need to look at the complete picture, not just how we organize our chairs, not just the food that we're putting together, which is very nourishing as it is, but how we really have to move to make it feel like home. Heather Luth talked to us about reflecting on how we are doing our recreational programs in our long-term care homes. And she told us to be truthful and honest and really reflect on what it is we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it. And that, leisure is in long-term care still a very unique experience for every resident who lives in long-term care. And that, oh boy, it's just so convenient to put it in groups for us. But hey, when we were asked to put up our hands and share who we spoke with, a lot of us still really enjoyed our individual personal time. Dr. Heckman and Dr. Moser came to us today, and they talked about the lonely physicians out there who come in as the medical directors. And oh my gosh, it was jaw-dropping to understand that many of them have been really struggling to be engaged with the larger teams that are in the long-term care homes. And so as they were reaching out to us, we need to reach out to them and include them in this team that we have in the journey on culture change. And that once they're truly on board, and it's wonderful to hear that there's a new training program out there for medical directors, that they get excited too, and that they want to be part of this change. So let's bring on board those physicians. Thank you, Michelle and Mark from OLTCA and ONUS. And we're going to generate a lot of ideas, and we need to get those ideas out there, and we need to share them. This is where we were hoping to start today and tomorrow, is just to get everybody talking about what's going on, and that there's so many bits and pieces to culture change, and all of it will add up to turning that Titanic around. And too, how important it is for us to work as leaders with our staff. And that we are role models ourselves as leaders. And if we are not role modeling what we're hoping and expecting, it just makes it more challenging for staff out there to do the same. And then thank you for the team that we had here talking about dementia. And I think as we looked at the statistics today, it's going to be an overwhelming, huge task, challenge for us to get our heads around it. I don't think those numbers are going to drop off anytime soon, so that is our reality. And in fact, it just sounded like after Dr. Heckman spoke with us, that complexity piece is cranking it up even more. And as we're seeing, we heard people saying even in the last 12 months, it has changed again. And so thank you for reminding us it's about knowing the person. And so we need to get right back to those basics. It's about making it normal. It's about making it about that person. And we think we're doing it, but I guess we're not doing it all the way quite yet. And that we, in the end, have to commit to helping those personal support workers, that training. You've got 5 wonderful programs out there already, ready to go, to come into your long-term care homes, work with your staff, work with you, work with the organization to try and get staff up to speed. I've always said in all my years of long-term care, when you walk into a long-term care, more often than not, the face of long-term care is the personal support worker. That's most often who family walk into contact with first. And yes, we need to commit training and education resources to make them, because they are, in the end, they're going to be the experts in the person. They're going to be the experts in every single resident in long-term care. So that leaves Kate and I here to finish up today so that we can get you out. And we've got a few slides that we just wanted to go through. Not very many, 3 slides. We did ask you, Kate put a survey together to ask you why you are attending the Culture Change Exchange. And we thought long and hard about the name of this. And we came up finally with the end, exchange, because that's really what we want to do. So it's a whole new concept for us to put this together and push out. In many cases, we're pushing out information and sharing it with you. But you told us that we're facing a great time of change. A lot of you have already started on your journey or are just about to embark on your journey. You want to learn from others in Ontario. And we do have some people that are out of province, and thank you for joining us. But many times we've had to turn to the United States to get information. So it's lovely to have us share some homegrown stuff, some Canadiana stuff that we can use in our culture change journeys. People want to be more person-centered, they told us. They want some support, some ideas that they can take back around their planning. Some people are actually new to culture change here, don't really know what that is, so they're coming here to get a feel for what that is and maybe discover that you're actually doing some culture change at this point. Want to know how others are doing it, what seems to work, what doesn't seem to work. They just want to get some ideas. Gain information, how they can get out there and facilitate, improve, and influence. Some people told us that they're here today because they want to bundle up some stuff so that they can go back and say, hey, you know, I'm here, I've got the torch, but I want others to carry that torch with me to go forward. Learn techniques and tips. Anything that's a proven method out there, just plain old curious. Some are coming for themselves, some are coming on behalf of their organizations, and we have some skeptics in the audience, and you guys know who you are. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you on board and be a part of the journey that we think is very, very important to the long-term care sector. Why are you attending it? A couple of quotations that I wanted to pull out, because I can believe we can do a better job in long-term care than we're doing now. I think all of you could probably write that down, that you truly believe that we can do a better job than where we are today. And that culture change now is on the radar. And we're hoping that as we bring people together, we start to share our stories, that we'll make that radar bigger, stronger, so that people understand that this is a very important issue, not to us personally who are here, but to the entire long-term care system. Policy changes. We're hoping for great things that will come out of this as we continue our journey forward.
Right, last but not least.
Last but not least, we wanted to know honestly from you where your home is or your organization is on its culture change journey. And this was really interesting for Kate, because she really discovered when she looked at the survey we did in January that more people were in the middle and actually tipping to the person-directed side. So I don't know if you guys are just more honest, or whether there's just, or you just realize where you truly are, because you are on that journey. And like Christy had said, the more that they got into the culture change journey, the more they realized they had a whole lot more to learn and do. So this is where the group fell out. This is where you as an audience fell out. We've got a good portion of you, about 33%, that are kind of parked right in the middle. And then if we look at it, I sort of drew a line there. It's basically 70% of you are saying that, we are still doing a lot of provider-directed activities in our home processes. And that a lot of things are very staff-centered. We're doing it. Even when Heather said, come on, we have to fess up and be true to who we are, even in recreation, which would almost seem like a very easy place to start, we're still very provider-directed in doing those things. So we are going to ask you at the end of the 2 days, again, where you are in this. And we're going to ask this question, I think, over and over as we go through any sort of culture change exchange events that we hold in the future.